Hello there, and welcome to the Kirkman wrap-up show for January 15th, 2021. Today's show was called Have a Friendly Day, in which Friendlies was kind of the main topic. I thought it would have the title would have something to do with the golden ticket or Dale Williams, who was the winner of it. But no, Friendlies stole the show. Kirk and Jared both have nostalgia for the franchise, and there was talks of a possible live show at a Friendlies in the future. So they kind of stole the show. So I am joined by Blind Owl, president of the Gearheads. How's it going, Blind Owl? Thank you for joining me today.
No problem. How's it going with you?
It's going fantastic. When I woke up today and I saw a 3-hour show,
oh,
granted, I woke up 3 hours ago. So I was
did you really? Jesus Christ.
No, I was very, very happy to see that we're getting a 3-hour show, especially because Wednesday's show, while it was incredible, it wasn't what you're used to getting.
Yeah, it was awesome, but again, like you said, it wasn't exactly what you're normally bargaining for.
I think Kirk put it really well today. He's like, less is more with that kind of stuff. You know, if he did it every week, it would kind of lose its magic. It would lose its touch. But I like it how he's doing these once every couple of months. He throws in this special show where, you know, it shakes things up a bit. And
it's totally random, and you can't predict it at all. It's just like, oh wow, like the Dr. Lance Minahan thing. You can't predict it. This, you know, the hammer was awesome. The countdown was awesome. You just can't predict it, which is the best part, I think.
Well, not to spend too much time on Wednesday's show, but I think this most recent show, the Top 20 Countdown, was more spontaneous than any other show before. Because I know with the hammer, Mike was saying they were planning on doing that for a while. I know with the Cheers show, they were talking about when Mike comes back, that was going to be like, this was all things like behind the scenes they mentioned weeks in advance. I got a text Tuesday night from Steve that said, hey, can you pull these songs for me? So I think Steve didn't even know about it until Tuesday night, which makes it just even more exciting. Just the fact that Kirk was the only one who knew that he was going to draw the top 20 hit.
I think he just did it. He said, here, let's piss these people off that really aren't going to like it. And he's like, I don't care. I'm going to enjoy it.
Like he said, he's heard nothing but I have seen a lot of praise. People who like this episode really like this episode.
Yeah, and the people who hated it are the ones that are going to hate anything they try.
Yes. And I think I like today how he was talking about how it was kind of like a love letter to Jared Carrabis. Jared Carrabis loves it when Kirk hits the post. Had some trouble today, but did an incredible job on the top 20 episode on Wednesday. And I think Jared said it might have been his favorite episode of the Kirkman show yet.
I think he did. And there's no long-term KMS Kirk and Callahan listener that when you're listening to a song, you don't have it that hasn't tried to hit the post. At least once.
I'm terrible at it. I tried doing it by myself Wednesday, and I tried doing it like, oh, I know this song pretty well, and I was like, oh, you know, from San Diego, Blink-182, and then it was terrible.
See, I'm never by myself in the car. Obviously, I don't drive, so
yeah.
I'm always trying it, and my fiance is like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, it is a lot harder than people give it credit for. I think Wednesday's episode is one that I think I'll re-listen to.
Sure,
a couple times.
Good songs. I was rocking out to Huey Lewis. It was awesome.
Oh, it's great. Prince, it gets me I love Prince. Prince
is terrible.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well.
Sorry.
Let's change the subject here. So obviously Friday's show it was Jared's show. He mentioned something that I thought was quite interesting today. He's going on Quantum Week, which is news to me. I'm sure it was
breaking
news to you. Is the beef settled between Matthew Carano and Jared Carrabis? Was it just beef to get hyped for Quantum Week and possibly have some Quantum Week heads go over to Section 10, have some Section 10 heads go over to Quantum Week? Or
it wasn't a beef. It was Carano just making stuff up as he went along, just because he was there.
Yeah,
that's all it was. That's literally all it was.
I liked it. I think the first thing Carano says today after he says go for Carano was, you gotta, when the Minifans speak, you gotta listen to them, Kirk. And I love Carano saying that. He's like the Minifans love Carrabis, so we're asking Carrabis on Quantum Week. I don't listen to Quantum Week. I probably won't listen to the Carrabis episode, but I could definitely see him being very entertaining, especially when it comes to like if they go deep into like an old like strange movie like the Blair Witch Project. I bet Carrabis is one of those people who knows a lot of things about a lot of random movies from the 90s. So
I'm in and out on Quantum Week. If it's a movie or a song I like, I'll listen to it. But this one I'll listen to just because Jared seems like kind of an idiot, so I want to know what he knows about, like you said, the Blair Witch Project or friggin' Ricky Martin or whatever they choose. But it's and that's kind of my time period too. I'm just about the same age as he is, so it'll be almost more nostalgic for me than say Kirk, who was, probably, I don't know how old he was, 20, 25 at the time, and not really into it as, Jared and I when we were kids. So
I was worried he was going to say something like, "Oh, let's do Fever Pitch" or something like.
It's the worst movie in the world.
some dumbass, Red Sox movie. But I'm glad. I'm glad he does want to do some sort of 90s, perhaps Saving Private Ryan or something like that.
Yeah, I would like him to see, like, Saving Private Ryan. Kirk said he didn't like it, but I love that movie. We got to watch it in high school, but I would prefer Carabas do something like a Blair Witch or one of those random 90s movies that everybody loves. Even like, he seems like he'd be more of a horror movie guy anyway. But.
He does, and I think that will be entertaining. But I just love it how this just proves how enshrined Jared Carabas into the Kirkman and world right now. I think at one point today during the show, they asked if he had to rank his shows, where would it be? And he's like, Section 10 is my baby. I've had it forever. I like Starting 9. I like CCK. And I've really liked doing this. I really think he's really high on the Minifans, and he's really high on the Kirkman show lately. I think he loves coming on. I think he loves getting the engagement online. It really is unlike any other podcast.
I think he's seeing that his go-to wheelhouse baseball is kind of falling off with the younger crowd, obviously, and I think he kind of sees kind of how like we all got into Kirk. Really, I got into it because I started listening to sports radio because that's all that I could get at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yep. So I started listening to Kirk, and then I just he brought me over to this world, and I'll still watch sports, but. And Jared seeing, the baseball audience is 900 years old, so maybe I'll come over here and get some of these guys. And I'm not listening to Section 10, but I'm sure somebody does on KMS that listens to KMS.
Yeah, so that's a good segue into kind of the main, what I thought was going to be the main. Oh, my cat's just throwing up next to me. It's okay.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh, it's okay, buddy. Oh, fuck. Oh shit! It's like pink. Oh, it's fucking. I'll be.
Nothing better than live TV. Do I need to vamp? Yeah, I'll vamp. All right. Hey, Minifans, it's now the Blind Owl Hour. Puking cats will do it. If Minifans, if you haven't already, go to, actually, I don't even know my own URL for my blog, but it's on my Twitter. Click on that. And be sure to listen to today's show. It's great. Justin's one of the best in the business, folks. Puking cats. It's pink, apparently. Any veterinarians out there know what?
Okay,
there he is.
Back, so that was fun dealing with that.
There he is. What did you figure out? What made it pink?
I don't know. It's like pink. So I hope it's not blood. I mean, that would kind of suck.
Is it like dark pink?
It's
as dumb as that
sounds. I just wiped it up. And...
It's fucking gross.
It's fucking disgusting. But anyway, let's segue into the main part of the show. $90,000 was the total that was raised for the Golden Ticket Fund, and I tallied it up. It was 93,000. The average person bought, I think, 4 tickets.
Wow,
it's insane.
Did you buy any, Justin?
I did not. I did not want to risk. I told my mom. My mom's like, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a ticket in your name." And I was like, "First of all, I'm in charge." Whoa!
You live in her house. You're not in charge.
No, I said I'm the one who's putting the names in the thing. I'm not putting your name in there. Like,
you could have just.
It doesn't matter. Like,
you could have just bought one and not put your name in. Then that's no excuse.
Please. I said, please donate, but please, God, I don't want.
Yeah.
Because I did do a couple after I was done. I was picking names out to see what it was, and one time I did pick a name that people knew, and it was Quantum Week Chris, and I was like, Quantum Week Chris wins this. There's going to be mayhem.
Oh my God, there
is going to be
insider trading,
but granted, not by anyone who actually bought a ticket, but there will still be mayhem. So Dale Williams won. He bought he spent $1,200 on tickets. Sounds like he's some army guy up in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
So that's awesome.
I mean, good for him. Ball of energy, that one.
I was about to say, I think he might be the perfect winner for this. Just to kind of be like, oh, really? I won? Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. He seems very down to earth. Seems very.
He may just sit there and stare at Kirk, which is
great. Would you prefer someone to I don't want to like say like a name or someone, but would you prefer someone who would pay like $10,000 to like drive around with Kirk? Would you just want like a fan who's just a loyal fan, just wants to listen in? I'm excited.
I'd like a little bit of engagement. You know,
I'm
if
excited.
it were me, you know,
I think this is going to be great. I mean, he's kind of part of the show lore now for the next 3 years. He'll have access to every single live event. So
yeah, and he doesn't talk, so Kirk could just say, "Oh yeah, Dale's here right now."
Yeah. I mean, for all we know, Dale could have been in the studio on Monday, and
sure,
you know, just chilling. But no, $90,000 was raised. That's exciting.
More than the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics combined donated.
Yes, which is unreal. The only thing that sucks about it is that $90,000 is such a gigantic amount of money that just looks it's huge. But then you see like the 25 million or the 27 million Barstool raise, and you're like, oh, that's only like 2%.
It's a huge number. But this is all going to, you know, the local business near me got bailed out because of this.
And also you look at like these millionaires who are donating like $1 million to the fund. If you take all that away and you just do fan generated donations, I bet you the Minifans raised more money than any other podcast.
Probably. Any other podcast? I don't know. There's so many people that listen to Pardon My Take and stuff, but
yeah, but I think even today, Kirk said like there's no other fan base like the Minifans. Like,
would you count a millionaire who listens to something and then donates because they heard it on the podcast?
No.
Would that count? No, that doesn't count.
I would count.
I would agree with you because you know some athlete might say, "Oh, Pardon My Take is doing this, so I'll do it." You know. I don't know,
but no, I really think it's incredible, and it shows just how much
I think the incentive clearly was what did it. I mean, I probably would have donated at some point, but the golden ticket just basically said, "Oh, now there's no reason not to."
Yeah, I mean it's insane when you look at it. I mean, $30 for one chance to literally have all your Kirkman show needs be met over the next 3 years is not something anyone would really pass up.
No, and I mean, even if you spent $120, 4 chances and you won, that's $120 for you do that price out, and that's more than going to less than going to all the things. So it ends up working out for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at and even if you don't win, I mean, the amount of money that was raised is just incredible.
Is your phone ringing now too?
No, that's my dogs in my room opened up my door and my parents' phones are ringing. So
you've got animals all over the place.
It's just a shit show. but so there was also a little bit of controversy that I noticed.
Sure.
Was that Kirk tried to stir the pot a little bit on Monday when he said that Jared was trying to vibe to get Steve kicked off of the trivia team. I think that was very funny that Jared just came in and was like, "Yeah, I want to talk about this." And he's like, "Do you have receipts?" And Kirk's like, "No, I was so disgusted I deleted all the text messages."
That was just Kirk trying to stir really motivate Steve, just stir shit up. And that's
I really like if their next opponent is going to be PFT and Brandon Walker. I think that would be a very, very interesting matchup. I think PFT is great at trivia. And I'd like to see Kirk versus PFT and Brandon Walker. I think taking down Brandon Walker would be big.
Brandon Walker would call shenanigans after the whole thing.
Oh, he's going to call shenanigans.
He's a big fat loser either way. So
I watched another episode of The Dozen, and he was calling, like, I think his go-to is just if someone's partaking in trivia that's not him, he's going to accuse them of cheating. He was accusing Smitty of cheating. He was accusing
White Sox Dave of cheating.
White Sox Dave of cheating. I think he was on with Pat. And he was accusing him of cheating.
Frank the Tanky accused.
Yep, everyone he just accuses of cheating, which was quite funny. So I don't know about you, but I wasn't really feeling the calls today. I thought the calls were just not that it was the show's fault or anything like that. I just thought the calls weren't just.
No,
Ziggy Robinson is your best, most entertaining caller. No
that's a
offense
problem
to Ziggy,
because
but
Ziggy
it's
is
just
not entertaining.
it's not what you're looking for. There was no. I mean, the Tim and Canton call was fine. I think it wasn't as bad.
I liked Tim today. It was kind of we all knew it was him right off the bat, and I think that's what made it a little bit funnier. If it was somebody we didn't know, I think it would have been aborted quite swiftly.
I think it was a lot better than his call to Grace last week, but that's not saying much. So
yeah, no.
I think the calls were all right today. There was a couple times I was thinking the exact same thing Kirk was thinking when that guy was going on and on and on. I even forget what he was going on. I was like, why hasn't Steve aborted this?
I'm just like, I'm moving my hand.
I know. I'm like, Steve, you have the power to abort. You have to abort this fucking terrible,
I do have one totally random point about the abortion sound.
Sure.
Has anyone else noticed, and this just may be the blind person being able to listen, it the sound rattles when it gets to the vacuum set. It's skips. It goes it's weird. And then it does it with the flush too. I don't know if that's just it's very bizarre. I don't know if
I haven't noticed that.
I noticed it the last two calls.
I'll give it another listen and see.
Definitely, because that's weird.
Make sure does it sound like a normal abortion?
Yeah, it does, but the sound just kind of skips.
Yeah.
Almost
so I thought the calls, I mean, they're going to be hits, they're going to be misses. I thought they were really great on Monday. I think Mike brings out the best in callers. I think Jared is when there's stuff like Andrea going on, I think there's a lot of things the callers can hit, but it was just bad. It was just tough today hearing some of the calls.
And they would kept, and as a call would come in, they'd abort it, and then they'd start talking about something else. Like the Friendlies thing was all during the call segment, wasn't it?
Yes.
So it's just and then you kind of lose your momentum when you're thinking about a call, and it's I know I've been in that. You get caught in when you're, and then something else comes up, and it's oh, now my thing doesn't make any sense. I gotta think on the fly,
It's just and I'd love to see them do a show at Friendlies. I love the enthusiasm Kirk has for that.
Love Friendlies.
Friendlies, there was a Friendlies right by my school growing up. We always used to go to it before all the dances.
Oh,
it was a lot of fun. It's sad to see them all go the way of the.
The one by me was one of the last surviving ones, and it was right off the highway. I think that's what kept it alive. But
I know there's so many of them that just aren't around anymore. But I'd love to see a Kirkman show.
I love a good fribble.
Friendlies. yeah. Fribble me this. I think
that's a great slogan.
I think that should have been the name of the episode. Was Fribble me this.
I don't know. But the call to the Friendlies was pretty funny when he called.
It was.
Have a friendly. It's just okay. That was pretty, and the guy clearly was like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?"
Speaking of callers, there was one call. I guess you could call him a recurring guest on the Kirkman and show now. I mean, they've had him on 4 or 5 times. Dale Arnold, who is now without a boss. I don't know if you saw this on Twitter.
Yes, of course I did.
Joe Zarbano has been fired. He has been let go, or I think he said
he said he resigned.
Yes, resign. What a nice
way.
That's
just a lot like Richard Nixon resigned.
Yes. So he's out. Kirk called him up to ask him some questions. And even though I know we didn't hear him other than him saying hi, the idea of him picking up and then just for the next hour being furious, fuck, oh, that son of a bitch.
Does that just make you happy? Why do you keep answering the phone?
It's just so great. I don't know anyone who answers the phone if they don't know the number. It's just such a strange.
Yeah, and the only reason I would is if somebody said, "Okay, I'm going to call you from a weird number."
Yeah. I think they said they were calling him from a South Carolina number.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is calling you from South Carolina that you need to answer?
Well, I'm not sure where the Carolina Hurricanes play. Is that in North Carolina or South Carolina? Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
Oh, Cam Ward might be calling me up to congratulate me on a great Nesson broadcast.
I'll be the next play-by-play guy for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes. So I just find it hilarious to know that he picks up every single time that the show decides to call him.
But old people always do. It's
100%. But I just like to imagine how angry he is and how angry he gets for irrationally afterwards for. They think they're so cool, and he's running around probably telling his wife like, "Oh, these kids think they're so fun, prank calling me." And like, oh.
That is fun. That he's probably like, how the fuck do they keep getting my number? I keep blocking them.
There's only so many numbers in the world, and I have 500 of them blocked. So anywho, that was today's show. They got a little bit into Jared Carabas's love life, which is always interesting to hear him, talk. They were talking about marriage and his wedding parties, and there was the girl that he was at the Kowloon with.
Can I just say this?
Sure.
As a man who is in the I planned a wedding and then I got canceled, and now I'm doing it again. Mm-hmm. But there is no better feeling than when you're going down the guest list and you start cutting people. That is a great feeling.
I'm sure.
I haven't seen you in years. See you later. I don't like you anymore. Like, you're not invited. It's the best. It's the best feeling in the world.
Well, I think it was interesting him just going through the guest list and just him being open. Like, I'd have this person in. I wouldn't have this person. It's like, I think his saying, he said, if we're not text buddies, do not expect to receive an invitation to my wedding.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I thought that was an interesting little peek. I would like to see Kirk at Jared Carabas's wedding.
Oh, that'd be awesome. A live show. Live show with a reception.
What did Jared's like, "Oh, would you come to my bachelor party?" And Kirk was like, "There is no way I would go to your bachelor party. So I'm be hanging out at Fenway, just drinking beer."
His few favorite things to do, Kirk. Drink beer and hang out at Fenway.
Yeah. I'd love to see Kirk just in that situation, just him.
He would just be sitting in the corner, just
everyone in sight. So
brooding.
It was a long show today. It was a great show. Kirk and Steve are heading into. They're flying into South Carolina tomorrow.
Nice.
So
get those.
I guess it's no longer. I'm no longer calling it the secret project. It is now the case.
The project. The case.
No,
they said that today. The case.
Yes, and it's in Kirk's bio and everything. So they're going down there for the case.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited. The week always leads to, like, I loved hearing Steve's story about eating all that. The burrito in a bag or whatever the heck he called it.
There's always some shenanigans when KMS goes on the road.
I think that's one of the best things is when they talk about that stuff. Like at the Super Bowl when they're talking about shit like Mike trying to cross the street. That shit's funny.
I did love it today when Kirk was like, "So you want me to book your hotel for you that I will eventually get paid back?" And Steve was like,
"Yeah, well, don't you have Marriott points?" And it was Kirk, "Well, it's not the Marriott, but."
Oh yeah, it was interesting. It's always kind of cool to like see them like out of their element, trying new things.
Yeah,
especially like when you're just outside of the state and you're just in a different environment, it's gonna bring out different things. Like that's where the George Ford store stuff came from with the fire.
Right, the fire and
So I'm not gonna say upset. I am kind of disappointed that Steve's not staying in a shithole. I think that's kind of his go-to move. I think from now on he should be kind of required to stay in a half-a-star Airbnb.
That would be great to see him.
But I think you should give a review each time where he goes around and he steps over the dead mice and rats and all that shit. But sounds like those days are over.
That's too bad.
Get the hotel room.
Which I don't see why he would have gotten that shit condo. He can just not finance it, but charge it to Barstool. I don't see why he didn't get a hotel room.
I think it's just a Steve thing. There are certain things that just I don't know. Why does he call Aunt Rebecca and then Aunt Tiffany? Hey, I call all
aunts are aunts in my opinion, but what do I know?
It's just a whole bunch of different. There's so many questions we have. There should be the case should be a psychological case study into the psyche of Steve.
Oh, that would be great. Could we just get somebody just to follow Steve around for a whole day?
For a whole month and just like how like Super Size Me was just a documentary of just about someone's at McDonald's every single month. It should just be following Steve and just for like an entire month. Just everything.
I'd watch every second of that.
It would just be it would be something else.
Oh.
So, is there anything else you want to bring up from today? I know.
I mean, other than your cat puking, I think that's the huge takeaway.
Yeah, that was fucking gross. I hope he's okay.
And me trying to vamp for about 30 seconds. That was
he looks like shit. That's not great. But
shit.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay.
What was I going to say? But I will be interested to see how Mike handles being remote on Monday's episode because I know
that could be problematic, but just as far as sound quality and
not necessarily sound quality, but I think one of the best things I guess because he hasn't been able to see anyway. But I don't know. I'm just curious into seeing how that will transpire. I'm excited. So
it'll be interesting. It'll be whatever happens. It'll be either mockable or good. So it's
it'll be quite interesting. So, well, thank you for joining me, Blind
no
Owl.
problem.
It was a pleasure. I'm
problem.
sorry about
Always
the
a
little
pleasure.
hiccup I had about 5 minutes in. But
I hope your cat's okay.
yeah, he'll be fine.
What's his name?
I call him Mr. Blue.
Well, now he's Mr. Pink, isn't he?
That's right. I call him Mr. Blue. So, Mr. Blue, hopefully he'll be feeling fine.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining me, and anyone else who
for
listened to
having
this, thank you for listening or watching on YouTube. And I will talk to you on Monday.